Well, good morning, Manna fam. It's so good to see everybody. We made it through the week. It is Friday, and for real, it is Good Friday for real. Okay, Good Friday for real. Thank God it is Friday. And we've been doing this all week. I thank God for these awesome men and women of God who have just said that they were going to help us with the manna to build up to today at 12 noon. And today, I tell you, one of the most powerful woman of God in this area, and let me just drop the gender. One of the most powerful ministers and bishops in this area, Bishop Miah White. I just thank you so much. Anybody with the email address of BMW got to be good. Anybody with with that email address, oh my God, BMW at the worship center. Okay, all right, we just gonna shut that down. We ain't gonna talk about that no more. But at any rate, so thank you so much for being with us on today. I'm gonna greet some folk, the Manna fam, and we're gonna get into it. You already know the flow. I don't have to go back and rehearse, Manna fam. You know where we are. You've been through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today is Good Friday, and that's what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to greet some folk. But before I do that, Bishop Maya, can you just say hello to the Manna fam?
Good morning, Manna fam. It is my honor to be here with each and every one of you. It is indeed Good Friday, as Bishop Dudley has said. And I'm honored to be here. I'm glad that you're jumping on as Bishop greets you. I greet you as well. And listen, isn't Bishop Dudley the greatest? I mean, isn't he amazing? I know I got some witnesses out there that can just jump in the chat and just say how awesome and amazing he is. And we thank God for his yes. And we thank God for all that he does in our area. And it takes a phenomenal human being to bring people together with no agenda but the kingdom. So we honor you, sir. And I'm so honored to be here this morning.
Well, you know what? It takes two to do all of those things. You can say you're a leader, but if you look behind and Bishop Maya is not there, you're just taking a walk. That's all. That's all you're doing. You're just taking a walk straight up. Let me greet some folk and then we're going to get into it. Good morning, Ramona. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Liz. How are you? If you went to the Seder last night, Manna Fam, and now all the Manna Fam I know don't go to New Life. We got Manna Fam on both coasts and in the Midwest as well. But if you were here, put in the chat area what your experience was last night, if you were in there, and if you caught any of the clips. Good morning, Arlene. How are you on this morning? How are you all doing on this morning? Good morning, Minister Yolanda. How are you? Michael is in house. Thank you so much for being one of the disciples. I can wash your feet, my frat and good brother, Michael. Thank you so very much for that. Good morning, Arlene, again, and good morning, Netta. You know what? I got to put on. I'm struggling seeing, and my most favorite glasses broke. Now I can't be like Bishop Mile. I'm gonna put mine up here and see. If I had those, I could really see. My see y'all see these are my most favorite ones, and they broke.
My
I don't
goodness.
get it. So I was looking for glue and everything. So I can't hardly see. Now I can see. Good morning, Netta. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Dawn. How are you? Laura, how are you? Brenda, how are you? I know I look like a geek up here with this, but it's all right. Good morning, Elder Jan. How are you? Deacon Joe and Rosetta, how are you guys? You need to bring Morning Star in 12 noon today, Sister Hubbard. Looking for you guys. Deborah, thank you for the pictures and everything. Verena, how are you doing? Good morning, Cynthia. How are you doing on this morning? Yvonne is in the house. Deborah is in the house. Jacqueline is in the house. How are you guys doing? Vaughn is in the house as well. Elder Jan, Sharice is in the house. Before we get started, and before I do, good morning, Sharice. Before I do our little trailer, before we get started, Bishop Maya, can you invite everybody on that side and all over, whoever? You got to be in church I don't care if you don't go to church, but one Sunday. And we don't dog you. If you come that Sunday, we're just trying to get into the gospel. But can you invite all the people of God to the worship center, and then we're going to do the trailer.
Absolutely. Listen, as Bishop said, we don't care that you only come one Sunday if that's one Sunday that you come. If it's one Sunday that you come, this is the Sunday that we want to see you. And we're going to love on you. We're going to embrace you. We're going to give you the word. We're going to be in the presence of the Lord at churches all across the world this Sunday. But if you are in the St. Louis area and you are in North County area, city, south, wherever you are, you can come at 9 a.m. and worship with the Worship Center St. Louis at 12567 Natural Bridge Road. We're going to be there at 9 a.m. 90 minutes of power. And we would love to see you there so that you can experience the word and the worship. It's open to all walks of life. So come on in with whatever you have on and whatever you have. I know it's Resurrection Sunday, so Bishop, you know everybody wants to get their Easter outfits on and listen, if you put it on, put it on, but if you don't, come on anyway. Come on in whatever you have, and we want to worship with you. So I invite you guys 9 a.m. Sunday morning, Central Standard Time. We'll look for you.
I
Absolutely.
always say to people, look, I don't care what you put on, just don't come naked. That's
Yeah.
what I say. That's all I say. Hey, let's go with it.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day.
Bishop, on this day, and I read this morning actually in my devotion um, about why do we call it Good Friday? And there was all kinds of reasons why. I don't know whether or not you're going to be sharing those things, but one of the things that the devotion writer said, it's kind of like come from God Friday. You know, we say good morning. That really is a conjugation of God's morning. We say good night as a conjugation of God's night. However we put it, can you talk to the Manna fam today, this morning? What does this mean? And what can they take away with this?
You know, it's interesting that you stated that because I also thought about this morning and yesterday why we call it Good Friday. Because if we think about it, it was absolutely nothing good from our human eye and perspective about this day in history and in the text, because it definitely didn't feel good. It was betrayal, it was injustice, it was suffering, it was death, and so just thinking about what happened today, I asked myself, what made this day good, and what I thought and what I came to was that it wasn't good because of how it looked. It was good because God was doing it. And that ties back into what you said, God Friday. It's not good because of what it looked like, but it was good because of what God was doing. Because, what looked like loss to us, what looked like devastation and betrayal was actually divine intervention. And so that's how we get the good out of what looked like a mess and chaos and hurtfulness and betrayal and all the things. It was because of what God was doing, the divine intervention that was taking place when we didn't even see it. And so um if you think about it, Good Friday could be any Friday in your life if you could just look past what's happening and see that God is always happening in it. Yeah.
He's always happening in it. And the cross is how he connects us to him,
Yeah.
no matter what is happening in our lives. When we think about the cross, when we think about what our Savior did, you mentioned injustice, you mentioned betrayal, you mentioned denial, you mentioned all of those things. If I'm dealing with that right now, in this very disruptive world right now,
Hmm.
we got wars, we got rumors of wars, we have someone who's trying to lead us who can't lead himself. Um, what would you say to someone in terms of what can they find on that cross that would matter to them in their disruptive lives?
You know, um, it's amazing that we sometimes I think we forget that Jesus was 100% divine and human, and so everything that happened on the cross, it didn't just happen to him; it happened for us. And even in that, when you think about just politically and socially, the cross just it represents that even when we don't see the value and or we don't understand what's happening, that God is always in the midst of it. There's always something that's happening for us, and He can use anybody, He can use anything, and He'll allow the disruption um, in our lives to be something that puts us on a path that is aligning with His plan. That while it looks like it's not going to work in our favor, all things work together in our favor. So even when it looks like someone doesn't, you know, as in our case, we've got rumors of war and we've got war. God's hand is in the midst of it, and disruption isn't a negative thing. Disruption can ultimately reroute you in destiny, and you'll end up better in the disruption than you were in your comfort. And when we look at the cross, we see that Jesus, he handled disruption, he handled the betrayal, he handled the system very well. Because when we look about what happened with Jesus being arrested overnight, tried by the religious leaders, handed over to Rome and crucified by morning, you know, that wasn't a random situation, that was divinely orchestrated. You can have religious power, you can have political authority, you can have public pressure, all colliding at one time. So it wasn't just what we see, just the suffering. And for those that might be experiencing that, you're experiencing, you can see the structured injustice. But if you look at it and not just assume that God isn't in it, then you'll miss that. What Good Friday shows us is that God can be working even when everything looks out of order.
Bam. There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
What God is at work even when everything seems like it's out of order. And we are in that sense,
We are.
that atmosphere
Mhm.
as we
Absolutely.
speak.
Absolutely.
You
Ab
cannot look at the news. You cannot look at maybe your own family dynamics, your own job situation without sensing God. I need a cross in the middle of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need you to connect me to a better situation and bring order out of that.
Yeah.
I bless God for that. And we don't want to just get with just what is happening in this moment. We really just want to give you a snippet because
Yeah. Yeah.
at 12 noon today, you're going to have, I talked about those who are speaking and all, but uh, the Lord is just blessed in this region to have powerful men and women of God. And I'm
Truly.
just of the occasion and thinking the kingdom is bigger than your church address.
Absolutely.
It's bigger than your church address. So come be with us, 12 noon at New Life. This year is on the east side of the river. Next year to be on the west side of the river. And I thank God for you all coming and sharing. And Bishop Miah, do you have one last word you want to share with our Morning Manna fam until we see them in a couple of 3 hours?
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, because it's bigger than, I love that, that's your mindset. It's bigger than the four walls of your church. Um, and the more we unite, the more we come together, it helps people to see that. And so we appreciate you for that. And we thank God for even your leadership as you are hosting us today. So we are looking forward to everybody that can in the bi-state area to meet us at New Life at 12 noon. And if I could just leave you with a little bit of encouragement for today, if something in your life feels like Friday,
Mm,
it's unclear, it's painful, it's unresolved, that doesn't mean that God is absent. It may mean that he's still working something you can't fully see. Trust the process. Don't disrespect the process, because even the betrayal is working in your favor. Even the injustice will work in your favor. Lean into the instructions from heaven, follow the instructions, and you'll walk in the power and the promise from heaven. It's a good Friday because it's a God Friday.
Amen. Thank you so much,
Amen.
Bishop. And we will see all of you in a couple of 3 hours. And God bless you. If this bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Manna fam, don't be greedy. Share it. And we'll see you back to our regularly programmed Morning Manna on Monday when it's just me. You'll just have me. I won't have all of those powerful men and women to be with me next week. Go to church. It doesn't matter where. This Sunday, be in somebody's church, and we love to see you at noon today at New Life. God bless you. Share the manna. The Lord's face be upon you and give you peace. Bye now.